All right, let's talk about our cats. We love them to bits, but let's be honest, sometimes they are a total enigma, right? One minute they're all purrs and snuggles, the next they're darting under the bed like you're a stranger. Well, today we're going to get into the little things, the subtle ways we might be chipping away at that bond without even knowing it. You know that feeling? You go to stroke your cat, the one who usually loves it, and they just flinch? Or they suddenly seem to be avoiding you, and you have no earthly idea why. It's confusing, and frankly, it kind of stings. Well, the answer usually isn't some big mystery. It's often hiding in our own actions. I want you to think about your relationship with your cat like this. It's an invisible bridge, a bridge built entirely out of trust. And every time you feed them on time, every time you have a nice, gentle play session, you're adding another solid, sturdy plank to that bridge. But here's the catch. That bridge, it's way more fragile than we think. And things that seem totally normal to us, raising our voice, picking them up when they're not in the mood, those things can send these little shock waves right across it, creating tiny spiderweb cracks in that foundation of trust. So let's pull back the curtain on 6 of the most common, subtle trust breakers. These are the things we do, often with the best intentions, that are quietly sending a message to our cats that we, their giant human, might not be as safe and predictable as they thought. First up, and oh man, this is a big one, yelling. It's almost a reflex, isn't it? You see your cat teetering a glass on the edge of the table, and you shout, "Hey," to stop them. It feels like the right thing to do in the moment. But here is the massive disconnect. Your intent is to teach them, don't do that. But your cat's brain doesn't make that connection. All they experience is that their source of food and safety has suddenly become a source of a loud, terrifying noise. From their perspective, their giant is now unpredictable and scary.
Okay, number 2, what I call the sleep ambush. You see it all the time. Your cat is just blissfully snoozing, curled up in a perfect little ball, looking adorable, and you just can't resist. You reach out for a little pet. Seems innocent enough.
But let's hop into their world for a second. Sleep is when a cat is at its absolute most vulnerable. So when you startle them awake, even with a loving touch, you're not a gentle owner. Oh no, you've just triggered a primal, hardwired survival instinct that screams, a potential predator just got the drop on me.
Number 3, and I think we can all raise our hands and admit we've been guilty of this one, is forced affection. You're in a cuddly mood, so you just swoop in, pick up your cat, and hold on tight, even as you feel their body go rigid or see their tail start that frantic twitching. You see, it all comes down to consent. When we push past their very clear signals that say, no thanks, we're teaching them something really damaging. We're teaching them that their boundaries don't matter and that our desire for a hug is more important than their feeling of safety. That's a huge crack in the trust bridge.
All right, let's talk about something a little less obvious, but just as harmful, inconsistency. Here's the thing you have to know about cats. They are creatures of routine. They build their entire sense of security on the world being predictable. So maybe you think feeding them at 7 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. is no big deal. You're just being flexible. But to your cat, whose internal clock is ticking away, you've just made their world unreliable. You've created anxiety. And that constant low-grade stress, it's like acid, slowly eating away at the trust they have in you. Ah yes, the classic squirt bottle. For decades, this has been the go-to advice for keeping cats off counters or away from the curtains. It's presented as this harmless little deterrent, a quick fix. But the logic is completely flawed. Your cat rarely, if ever, connects the squirt of water to the fact that they were scratching the chair. Instead, they connect that sudden, unpleasant attack with the person holding the bottle, with you. All they learn is that sometimes, for no reason they can understand, you attack them. And our final point, number 6, kind of ties a lot of this together. It's the act of punishing a cat for doing things that are completely natural to them. We're talking about scratching, climbing, even just getting the zoomies. Your goal is just to save the sofa. I get it. But when you punish a cat for scratching, you're not teaching them that scratching is bad. You can't. Scratching is a deeply ingrained, necessary behavior for them. What you're actually teaching them is that something fundamental to being a cat is wrong and will be punished. Talk about confusing. So you start to see the theme here, right? Yelling, spraying, forcing a cuddle when they don't want one. From your cat's perspective, it's all just punishment. And this leads us to the single most important takeaway from this whole thing. When it's all said and done, what is the one lesson your cat truly learns when you shout at them or spray them with that bottle? It's probably not what you're hoping for.
This is it, right here. The research is crystal clear. All that discipline doesn't teach them to stay off the counter, it teaches them to be afraid of you. You stop being their safe harbor, their predictable source of all good things, and you become this unsafe giant. And that just shatters the foundation of your bond.
Now, I know that sounds incredibly bleak, but here's the good news, the really good news. Trust can be rebuilt. It's not a lost cause. All it takes is for us to shift our mindset from being their owner to being their guardian. And it's actually pretty simple. First, just become an observer. Learn to speak their language. The tail twitches, the ear positions, the slow blinks. Second, become that safe space. Make their world predictable with set meal times and play times. Let them come to you for affection. And third, become the source of all good things. Instead of punishing what you don't like, use treats and praise to reward what you do like. Give them a great scratching post right next to the sofa. So I'm going to leave you with this one question to mull over. Just try for a moment to see your world from their point of view, from about a foot off the floor. What do you look like from down there? Are you the scary, unpredictable giant? Or are you the calm, reliable center of their entire universe? Because believe me, the answer to that question makes all the difference.